And as was the point made recently by a very, very smart guy, Jim Rickard, who you should have on your show, the gold in New York could be commandeered by the U.S., so that the U.S. now has suddenly 14,000 tons of gold. They become, as Rickard refers to it, the Saudi Arabia of gold. So so gold becomes a big factor.
All right, stay there.
My contention is this.
Well, I mean, let's talk about gold and silver on the other side and where you see that trend going. Stuart Rhodes is going to be in studio with us coming up at 8 after next hour, founder of Oath Keepers. And we're going to cover some new information they've learned and also some new initiatives they've launched. Tarpley's popping in for only 5 minutes in the next segment to give us his take on Egypt. And Mubarak, now they're announcing, will be stepping down, reportedly not in September, but in the next few days. Who knows if that's another hoax, but Fox News, AP, they're all reporting it right now. Finishing up with Max Keiser, going back to gold and silver. If you look at the 10-year graph, 11-year graph, obviously gold and silver's going straight up. But they have these little dips, and it's even, as you know, coming out in lawsuits that the Federal Reserve and others are trying to suppress the price of these, but at the same time buying it up themselves. What do you see happening with the gold and silver markets?
Well, a couple of things. First of all, I was in London a couple of weeks ago, and I met in person with Andrew Maguire. You know, he was the whistleblower in London who blew the whistle on the gold and silver suppression scheme of HSBC, and J.P. Morgan. And he told me that he's coming out with some new information that will put people in jail. And but he's currently unable to talk about it.
Well, they've already tried to kill him with that set-up car wreck. He better dump the intel now.
That's right. He got hit by a car the next day. And I told him that I'm going to have him on my show first. But then I said, I talked to you, and you got to get on Alex Jones show immediately. And he's like, yes, of course. So that's yet to come.
Okay, so as soon as you have him on your show, since you know more about this than I do, how about I just have you on with him, Max? I mean, like the day after he's on your RT show.
Yeah, well, this is all coming down the pike. So your audience, my audience, we're going to get this information.
Okay, well, you just program that with my producer. So just you know when this is coming out on your show, I guess on a Friday, and then let's just have you and him on Monday. So you line it up. You honcho.
Total bombshell information. Gold and silver for the last 10 years have been averaging 21, 22% annualized gains. It's been in the beginning of a bull market. It's about ready to start phase 2 of a bull market, which means you're going to see the big, juicy gains, parabolic gains that are coming up. But the point I was making before the break is that the world has always been on a gold standard. Up in 1971, when the U.S. closed the gold window, we entered an experiment of global fiat currencies that traded against each other. That experiment now, as of 2010, 2011, has proved to be a failure. And people realize that you have to go back on some kind of gold standard.
Well, I want to go back to this bombshell. Tell folks again, briefly, we only got a few minutes left, who this whistleblower is, where he worked, what that caused, and I mean, obviously you're hinting his bombshell is that the system is already waiting and knows, just like you told us 2 years before the Icelandic implosion, you met with bankers who bragged about it.
No, I told you that Facebook was going to launch a global currency a year before they did.
Yes. But, no, we know you're 100% real, so we got 2 minutes. Tell us what's happening.
Yeah, well, okay. Andrew Maguire, you know, as we've been talking about, he gave some evidence about the London Building Markets Association. He said, I can show you how they manipulate prices. He said in advance how prices were going to be manipulated. And sure enough, exactly what he said he was going to do exactly is what happened. And this set up they didn't broadcast that information. He's sitting on some additional information. He has the goods about how these banks are participating in fraudulently keeping the price artificially suppressed, and J.P. Morgan's huge multi-billion short silver position. You know, they're short something like 3 billion ounces, and there's only 1 billion ounces of silver available in the entire world because 44 of the 45 billion ounces that have ever been mined have been used up. It's used up already, and they're in landfills and cell phones. It's gone. There's only 1 billion ounces. It's a $30 billion industry. That's it. Anyway, so this is coming. It's a bombshell. It's going to put people in jail, and it'll be the basis for why these metals, in particular silver, will be on their way toward much, much higher prices.
Okay, how long till the bombshell comes out? Because this is very dangerous what you're reporting, obviously.
A few weeks.
All right, Max, you better watch your back, man. You better tell Mr. McGuire he better get this information out faster. Visit Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. When you're on the site, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want.